Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Liberty. His eyes stayed fixed on the green screen that showed enemy ships. All around them, broken pieces of human ships floated in the dark void of space. 73 human ships had come to fight in the Kepler system. Now only one ship was left alive. The bridge felt cold. Morrison could hear the quiet hum of machines and the soft breathing of his crew. Everyone knew they were in trouble. "Captain, the alien ships are moving again," said Lieutenant Katie Walsh. She sat at the sensor station, watching her screen, with worried eyes. "I count 237 enemy ships. They are trying to circle around us." Morrison nodded but said nothing. He had seen this before. The aliens always surrounded their enemies before the final attack. Chief Engineer Pete Collins looked up from his workstation. Sweat ran down his face even though the bridge was cold. "Sir, our engines are damaged. We only have 40% power left. The main drive got hit bad in the last fight. We can move, but not very fast or very far." Navigator Lisa Brooks frowned at her charts. Something was wrong with what she was seeing. "Captain, this is strange. The alien ships are moving away from us. They are keeping their distance. Why are they not attacking?" Morrison felt confused. In 12 years of war against the Vorthons, he had never seen them act like this. These crystal-like aliens had destroyed human worlds across 3 star systems. They never showed mercy. They never took prisoners. They never backed down from a fight. The Vorthons were smart and deadly. Their ships were made of some kind of living crystal that could repair itself. Their weapons could cut through human armor, like paper. Most humans who fought them died quickly, but today felt different. Communications Officer Danny Carter suddenly sat up straight at his station. His face went pale. "Captain, we have an incoming message. It is coming from the big alien ship." The main screen lit up. A strange figure appeared on it. The alien looked like it was made of clear crystal with light moving inside its body. Its shape was all angles and sharp edges. When it spoke, its voice was perfect English, but it sounded cold and empty. "Human vessel Liberty, you have fought well. Your kind shows more strength than we first thought. We want to talk." Morrison stepped closer to the screen. "What do you want to talk about?" "Give up your ship. Join with us. Your knowledge of war will help us. You have earned this chance by fighting so hard." The bridge became very quiet. Morrison looked at his crew of 47 people. These were the last free humans in this part of space. Every face showed the same feeling. They had come here ready to die in battle, not to become part of the enemy. "I have a different idea," Morrison said. His voice stayed calm and strong. "You leave human space alone, and we will not have to make you look foolish." The alien's crystal body seemed to flash, with something that might have been surprise. "Strange. You have one broken ship against our great fleet, yet you talk about making us look foolish. How can this be?" Morrison smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "You have been fighting humans for 12 years. You still do not understand us. That is your first big mistake." The alien stayed quiet for a moment. Morrison could see other aliens moving behind it on their ship. They seemed to be talking to each other, but no sound came through. "We have studied your kind," the alien said finally. "We know how you fight. We know your weapons. We know your ships. What could you do that we have not seen before?" Pete Collins whispered to Morrison. "Sir, why are they talking so much? They usually just attack." Morrison had been wondering the same thing. In every battle before this, the Vorthons attacked fast and hard. They never wasted time talking. They never offered deals. Something had changed. "Maybe," Morrison said quietly to his crew. "They are afraid of something." Katie Walsh checked her sensors again. "Captain, their ships are staying at least 1,000 kilometers away from us. That is much farther than their normal attack distance." Lisa Brooks nodded. "And they are keeping their strongest ships in the back. The damaged ones are in front. That does not make sense for an attack." Danny Carter listened to radio signals from the alien fleet. Sir, I am picking up a lot of chatter between their ships. They are talking more than usual. Morrison felt a strange feeling in his stomach. Something was very wrong here. The Vorthans were acting scared. But what could they be afraid of? His ship was nearly dead. His crew was tired. He had no secret, weapons or hidden tricks, unless... Danny, send them a message, Morrison said. Tell them we need time to think about their offer. Tell them our crew wants to discuss it. The alien on the screen nodded. We will wait, but not for long. You have 1 hour to decide. The screen went dark. Morrison turned to his crew. Something is not right here. They have us beaten, but they are acting like they are afraid of us. I want to know why. The next hour would change everything. None of them knew it yet. But the real battle was just beginning. And it would not be fought with guns or missiles. It would be fought with something much more dangerous than any weapon. It would be fought with the human spirit itself. Dr. Amy Foster worked fast in her small lab on the Liberty. Glass bottles filled with strange liquids lined the shelves around her. She had been working on these experiments for years, trying to find ways to fight the aliens. The hour was almost up. Soon the aliens would want an answer about their offer. But Amy had found something important in her research, something that might explain why the aliens were acting so strange. Katie, connect me to the captain, she said into her radio. Morrison's voice came through the speaker. What do you have for me, Amy? Captain, remember those weird readings we got from the alien ships during our first fight? I have been studying the data. Their crystal ships are not just metal and armor, they are alive. Amy pulled up charts on her computer screen. The numbers and lines showed her discovery. The aliens do not just fly their ships. They become part of their ships. Each alien ship is like a living creature with the alien inside it. On the bridge, Morrison listened carefully. This was new information. What does that mean for us? It means when we shoot their ships, we hurt the aliens inside. Real pain, not just damage to their machines. And Captain, our weapons should not be able to hurt them this much. Their technology is much better than ours, but somehow we are causing them real problems. Amy had been studying the aliens for 5 years. She knew their ships could fix themselves. She knew their weapons were stronger than human weapons. But the battle data showed something different. The aliens were taking much more damage than they should. Tactical Officer Ryan Hayes watched his screen carefully. He tracked every movement of the alien fleet. Captain, something is happening out there. The alien ships are moving their hurt ships to the back. They are bringing fresh ships to the front, but they are doing it very slowly, like they are scared to get close to us. Morrison felt a cold feeling in his chest. They are not just being careful about our weapons, they are actually afraid of something else. The radio crackled to life, again. This time, many alien voices spoke together. The sound was strange and made everyone on the bridge feel uncomfortable. Human Morrison, we have watched your kind on many worlds. You fight in ways that are different from others we have fought. Most species give up when they cannot win. You keep fighting even when you should surrender. This makes us uncertain. Morrison stepped closer to the radio. Why does that bother you? In 12 years of war, we have learned something about humans. You have something we cannot predict. When you are trapped, when death is certain, you do not just fight harder. You change everything. You make new rules. This creates results we cannot calculate or expect. The bridge crew looked at each other. They had never heard aliens talk like this before. The aliens sounded worried, even confused. Chief Engineer Pete Collins stopped his repair work and listened. Captain, they are right about one thing. Think about our biggest wins in this war. The Battle of Proxima, the defense of New Terra, the fight at Alpha Centauri. We were losing all of those battles. Morrison nodded. He remembered those battles well. In each one, humans had been outnumbered and outgunned. The aliens should have won easily, but somehow humans had found ways to turn defeat into victory. We do not win by being better at their game, Collins continued. We win by playing a completely different game. One they do not understand. Morrison began to see the bigger picture. And they know this. That is why they are staying far away. They are not afraid of our guns. They are afraid of what we might do that they have never seen before. Amy's voice came through the radio again. Captain, I have more. I have been studying the way their ships move. In the old battles, they attacked fast and hard, but in the last few fights, they have been more careful, more hesitant, like they are thinking too much instead of just attacking. Ryan Hayes checked his readings again. She is right, sir. Their attack patterns have changed over the years. They used to be very predictable. Now they second-guess themselves. They start an attack, then pull back. They change their minds. Morrison walked around the bridge thinking hard. His crew watched him, waiting for orders. Outside, 200 alien ships waited for their answer. They have been studying us for 12 years, Morrison said slowly. But we have been changing them too. Every time they fight us, they learn something new about humans, and that knowledge is making them act more like us. Danny Carter picked up strange signals from the alien fleet. Sir, I am hearing a lot of talk between their ships. They are arguing about what to do next. That is not normal for them. Morrison smiled for the first time since the battle started. No, it is not normal, because arguing and second-guessing and changing your mind at the last minute are human things to do. The aliens had made a mistake. They had been studying humans so long that they were starting to think like humans. And humans, Morrison knew, were very good at making problems for themselves. The real question was, could they use this against the aliens? Could they turn the aliens' new human-like thinking into a weapon? Morrison looked at his crew. They were tired, scared, and far from home. But they were still human. And being human, Morrison was beginning to understand, might be the most powerful weapon they had. Navigator Lisa Brooks worked fast at her computer. She was drawing maps of space routes through the big rocks that floated around them. Her fingers moved quickly over the controls as an idea formed in her mind. Captain, I have an idea. But you will not like it, she said. Morrison walked over to her station. He could see the worry in her eyes. At this point, Lisa, I am ready to hear anything. The aliens have been watching us for 12 years, right? They know how we fight. They know our tricks. They know what we usually do when we are in trouble. But there is one thing they have never seen humans do. Morrison waited for her to continue. Run away. The bridge became noisy as everyone started talking at once. But Lisa held up her hand to make them quiet. Listen to me. In every fight, humans have battled until the very end. We never give up. We never retreat. We never show that we are scared. But what if that is exactly what they think we will never do? Morrison began to understand what she meant. They are staying far away because they are waiting for us to do something they do not expect. If we run, it might be the most surprising thing we could do, Lisa finished. And while they are trying to figure out why we are suddenly acting like every other species they have beaten, we can do our real plan. Doctor, Amy Foster's voice came through the radio. Captain, I need to tell you about the chemicals I have been making. If we can get very close to their command ship, I think I can break their group mind. But we would need to be within 50 meters of their ship. Chief Engineer Pete Collins shook his head. That is a death mission, Amy. Not if we do it right, Morrison said. His mind was working fast, putting pieces together. Lisa, can you make a path that looks like we are running away but actually brings us around behind their ships? Already working on it, Lisa replied. Her hands moved over her controls, drawing new routes on her screen. The big floating rocks will hide us. If we do this right, we can make it look like we are scared and running while we get close enough. For Amy's plan. Tactical Officer Ryan Hayes studied the alien ships on his screen. Sir, if we start running, they will chase us. But how they chase us will depend on how much they believe we are really scared. Morrison walked to the center of the bridge. Around him, his crew waited for orders. These people had been with him for 3 years. They trusted him completely. Then, we better make it look real. Pete, I need you to make our engines look like they are failing. Make it seem like we are barely holding together. That will not be hard, sir. We really are barely holding together, Pete said with a tired smile. Danny, send a message to the aliens. Tell them we want to talk about their offer, but we need time to convince our crew. Make it sound like we are stalling while we argue with each other." Danny nodded and began typing the message. "And everyone," Morrison added, "remember that they have been listening to our radio calls for 12 years. They know how humans sound when we are desperate, when we are angry, when we are beaten, so make it believable." The plan began to work. The Liberty moved away from the alien fleet slowly. Pete had done a great job making the ship look broken. Smoke came out of the engines. The ship shook and moved unsteadily. It looked like a dying animal trying to escape. The aliens followed, but they stayed far away. They were still being careful. Their radio messages showed they were confused, but becoming more confident that they had finally broken human will to fight. "Interesting," came the strange group voice of the alien fleet. "The humans retreat. This has never happened before. Perhaps their famous stubbornness has limits after all." As the Liberty moved through the field of floating rocks using the huge stones to hide from the aliens, Morrison felt that something was still wrong. The aliens were following, yes, but not with the eager chase he had expected. "Captain," Danny said quietly, "I am picking up more talk from their fleet. They are discussing something they call the strange pattern." "What strange pattern?" "I am not sure, but they keep talking about human behavior in past battles. They are saying something about how we always do the unexpected thing at the worst possible moment." Morrison felt cold fear in his stomach. "They are not believing our act. They think this is another trap." Lisa looked up from her navigation screen. "Sir, we have a problem. The aliens are not following our planned route. Half of their ships are chasing us, but the other half are moving to block our escape paths. They are treating this like we are trying to trick them." Morrison realized the truth. The aliens were not following because they believed the humans were running away. They were following because they expected this to be exactly the kind of trap humans were famous for. "They know us too well," Ryan said, watching the alien ships move into position. "Every time we have surprised them before, it looked like we were doing one thing, but we were really doing something else." Amy's voice came over the radio, worried and urgent. "Captain, if they are expecting a trap, they will keep their command ship far away from us. I need to be close to their biggest ship for my plan to work." Morrison looked at his crew. They had come so far, only to find that their reputation for being tricky was working against them. The aliens expected humans to be sneaky. They expected tricks and surprises, but what if the real surprise was that there was no surprise at all? "New plan," Morrison said suddenly. "We stop running." Everyone stared at him. "Sir?" Lisa asked. "They expect us to be tricky. They expect a trap. So we give them exactly what they do not expect. We stop being tricky. We do exactly what it looks like we are doing." Morrison smiled as the new plan formed in his mind. Sometimes the best way to surprise someone who expects a surprise is to not surprise them at all. But this plan would require something even more dangerous than being sneaky. It would require being completely honest with an enemy that had learned to never trust humans. The Liberty continued moving through the rock field, but now Morrison had a new idea, one that might be crazy enough to work. Captain Morrison stood in the center of the bridge. Around him, his crew waited for orders. The alien fleet was still following them, but not in the way they had hoped. The aliens expected a trick, so Morrison decided to give them something they would never expect. The truth. "Stop the ship," Morrison ordered. Pete Collins looked up from his controls with surprise. "Sir?" "Stop all engines. Stop the fake damage effects. Stop everything. We are not running anymore." Lisa Brooks stared at him. "Captain, if we stop, they will surround us completely." "Good. Let them." The Liberty came to a full stop among the floating rocks. The fake smoke stopped coming from the engines. The ship stopped shaking. Suddenly it looked like what it really was, a damaged but still dangerous human warship. Danny Carter watched his radio with worry. "Sir, the aliens are asking why we stopped. Their whole fleet is confused." Morrison walked to the communication station. "Put me through to their command ship, all channels. I want every alien in their fleet to hear this." The main screen lit up. The crystal alien commander appeared, but this time Morrison could see many other aliens behind it. They all looked confused and uncertain. "Human Morrison," the alien said. "Why have you stopped your escape? This does not match any behavior pattern we have studied." Morrison took a deep breath. "Because we were not really trying to escape. But we are also not trying to trick you. I'm going to tell you something, and it is going to be completely true." The aliens became very quiet. Morrison could see them talking to each other without sound. "For 12 years you have been studying us, learning our tricks, learning our ways of fighting. You think you understand humans now, but you made one big mistake." "What mistake?" the alien asked. "You learned how to think like us, and now you cannot stop." Dr. Amy Foster had come to the bridge during the conversation. She stood next to Morrison with her research tablet in her hands. "Captain, tell them about the data." Morrison nodded. "We have been studying you too. Every time you fight humans, something changes in your group mind. We do not just damage your ships, we damage your way of thinking." The alien commander's crystal body began to flash with different colors. "Explain." "Dr. Foster, show them." Amy held up her tablet so the aliens could see it through the screen. "These are readings from your damaged ships. Your crystal minds are not working the same way they used to. Parts of your group consciousness are thinking independently, thinking like humans." The silence that followed was long and uncomfortable. "That is impossible," the alien said, but its voice was less certain than before. "Is it?" Morrison asked. "When was the last time your fleet attacked quickly without thinking about it first? When was the last time you made a decision without arguing about it? When was the last time you acted like the efficient group mind you used to be?" Morrison could see the truth hitting the aliens like a physical blow. He continued speaking. "Every human you have absorbed has changed you. Every battle with us has made you more like us. You doubt yourselves now. You second-guess your decisions. You argue with each other. These are human traits, and you caught them from us." The alien commander looked back at the other aliens behind it. Morrison could see them moving and gesturing, clearly arguing about something. When the commander turned back, its voice was different. Some of us have been wondering what it would be like to choose our own path, to think our own thoughts. This is not normal for us." "No," Morrison agreed. "It is not normal for your kind, but it is normal for humans, and now part of you is human." Ryan Hayes was monitoring the alien fleet carefully. "Captain, their ships are not staying in formation anymore. Some ships are moving closer, others are backing away. They cannot agree on what to do." Morrison smiled. This was exactly what he had hoped for. "You came here to absorb the last free humans in this sector," Morrison said to the aliens. "But you are afraid to do it. Do you know why?" The alien commander did not answer, but Morrison could see the fear in its crystal form. "Because every time you absorb humans, you become more human. And you know that if you absorb us, the human part of your mind will become stronger. Maybe strong enough to break your group consciousness completely." Danny Carter was listening to alien communications. "Sir, their fleet is splitting apart. Different groups of ships are arguing with each other. Some want to attack, others want to retreat, and some want to negotiate." Morrison felt victory within reach. "You cannot attack us without risking becoming more like us. You cannot retreat, because that would mean humans defeated you. And you cannot negotiate because that would mean accepting us as equals." The alien commander's form flickered like a broken light. When it spoke, multiple voices came out at once, all saying different things. "We must destroy them before they change us more. No, we should study them to understand how to resist their influence. Perhaps we should listen to their offer. We do not make offers, we take what we want. But what if wanting is a human trait we have learned?" Morrison watched the aliens argue with themselves. It was like watching someone fight their own reflection. "Here is our offer," Morrison said calmly. "You leave human space. You never come back. In return, we will not tell the rest of the galaxy that the mighty alien collective has been defeated by their own curiosity about humans. The Arguing among the aliens became louder. Their ships began moving in different directions as different groups tried to follow different orders. Finally, the alien commander spoke with just one voice. It sounded tired and confused. We will consider your proposal. We need time to reach consensus." "Take all the time you need," Morrison said. "We will be here." The screen went dark. Hours passed. The alien fleet stayed in the area, but the ships kept moving around, unable to decide what to do. Some groups of ships left and came back. Others stayed but changed positions constantly. Finally, most of the alien fleet began to leave the system. Only a few ships remained, and these sent a final message. "Human Morrison, we accept your proposal, but know this: we will return when we have learned to resist your influence." Morrison smiled. "And when you do, you will be even more human than you are now." The last alien ships disappeared into hyperspace. The Liberty began its long journey home. They had won not by being stronger or smarter than the aliens, but by being so completely human that they had infected their enemies with humanity itself. Morrison looked at his crew. They had saved not just themselves, but possibly all, of human space. And they had done it by doing the most human thing of all, staying true to themselves no matter what.